Hello and welcome back to Jaff and James and Flav for now. Tottenham Hotspur have got 1 foot in the Europa League final.
Is it more than 1 foot?
No, it's not more than 1 foot.
Are you like that? Is it like just you could just got your foot in there, or is it a lunge? Is it a full lunge into the final?
I think we've got a good stride.
Yeah,
I think it's a stride.
Do you know what I thought about you? Because I was like, I messaged you yesterday going, like, can we do the pod today? And we are doing with our beloved patrons. Welcome one, welcome all. If you want to become a patron, please do. We would love to have you join us. And Flav, you've been meeting up with some Jaffins this week, it seems like, as well. Is that right?
Yeah, I've seen a few Jaffins in the wild. Sluggies. So it was before this week's been mental. Wherever I've gone, someone's gone, I should say I love the podcast.
Sluggies everywhere.
They're everywhere, right? And before, I want to give them a shout out. I can't remember your name, mate. But this was before the Villa Palace game. Right. Very excited. Met them at Paddington Station. I'd gone out for a drink up with my brothers and that, and we watched the game and the boxing. And you talked about the double take.
Yeah, yeah.
So that took place. I knew the Villa lads, and he's like, "Love the podcast," but immediately had to say, "I am dry." And I was like, "What? Have we made such a big deal out of this dry and moist slug thing that now that it's 100% a part of the conversation every time I speak to one?"
Well, I mean,
it's an apology. They put their hands on her, walk backwards, go, I am dry.
If only there was some way to solve that. That.
Yeah. No.
I don't know.
Some of them say, "No, I'm proud. I'm proud. I'm dry and proud."
Do you know what I'm saying? It's similar to like I go, I want to meet someone. I go, "Oh, cool. What about you? Who's your team?" And they'll go, "Chelsea." If it's Chelsea, I'm like, all right. If it's Chelsea, Man United, and Liverpool to a lesser extent, but definitely if they're a southern person who supports Man United, or if they're a Chelsea fan, they're like, "I'm Chelsea." Yeah.
But James, have you been aware of this kind of like there is a turn-in on people from the south who support clubs from the north? It's happened in a big way. It's always been there.
They're being who's turning on them? The north are turning on the south.
I think the north have been fed up, like low-key fed up about them for a while.
Yeah.
But I think generally on sort of social media platforms, your stock has never been lower than it is right now.
Really?
If you support... And I know a good mate of mine, Jim, he is a Liverpool fan. His dad is from Gausland, right?
Okay.
He isn't. He works in a bank in London.
Sure.
Right? He is...
That's even worse. Even worse. It's the worst kind of southerner.
He's the direct opposite of what every Liverpool fan should be.
Yeah.
But he's genuinely a Liverpool fan. He travelled all over Europe with them, right? But he sounds like he's from London.
So hard, isn't it? You put but geographically or your accent means that you're not allowed to be taken seriously. Just does seem cruel. Like Sam Peoples, right? Yeah. Our beloved Sam.
No, but no.
The work he's put into. So anyone who doesn't subscribe to United People's TV, make sure you do. It's brilliant, and he is crushing it. I mean, there's a huge audience of Man United fans there, so that will help. But I don't know why. There was no need for me to say that. Actually, I apologise. But the point is, he's a man from Southend who bloody loves his club, and he's put in a decade of work trying to and with integrity. He's not just rage bait. He's not done that. He wants to have integrity in what he does. However, his voice isn't northern. He's not northern, and so something gets taken away there. It's it's same with like American fans. No, it's not fair. It's not fair.
No, that's fine. I don't think in American fans or fans wherever you are, they've got to choose their football club. There's no other choice.
Yeah, that's true,
right? And if you've made a decision as an American fan to support Man City, don't ever have a conversation with me, right? Or anybody. You deserve no respect at all. But for those many, many Spurs fans over there in America that have gone, do you know what? I want a lifetime of misery and disappointment. That's what I want. Those are my people. Those are people I respect. The ones that chose everybody else, fuck them. But no, Sam is just sitting there and he's just like, he is, like you said, the craft, the work, and he's producing amazing content, but he can't escape the fact that when he was 7 years old, he chose to support Man United. And he isn't even aware of it. He's not aware of the implications of his choice.
I'd love to know, in other walks of life, so for one, Americans, or, Canadians, North American, whatever.
All of them.
All of that lot. But I guess more Americans. If you hear a British voice talking about basketball or American football, do you have the same feeling?
Hate us.
Do you? Are you like, shh, stand down, please?
Well, hang on a second. Let's take it. We don't hate Americans talking about football.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
We hate Americans that chose to support Man City. We hate them.
I certainly struggle with that. I'll be honest. I struggle with that.
You can't choose the best. You just can't
that's
choose
the thing.
It's not allowed.
Can't choose the best. Yeah. What are you? Why? Where? Where's the climb? Where's the bloody climb?
You need a climb. This is why Spurs are perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect for you.
Anyway,
Ollie says, do Australians get away with it? I feel like they
do. Yeah, I think they do. Well, to a point, isn't it? There does seem to be like, I couldn't care less that Ange is Australian. I don't really think I certainly don't see it as a negative in any way. But again, sorry to keep ringing this American bell, but and it's not fair, is it? Jesse Marsh steps in, or an American manager steps in. In this country, I think there is a different feeling around it, because Australian is a more, careful here, Australian has a more British feel to their culture, I think.
You feel closer to an Australian than you do to an American, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like, if that's important to you, apologies, but I just do feel like there is that issue, and I don't think Ange is hated on because he's Australian. I think it's a stick to beat him with to some extent.
He brings it up more than anyone, I think.
Yeah. I don't really think that is. I just think it's his inferior tactics that are the problem.
Ollie Sage says Ted Lasso. Has Ted Lasso put American management backwards?
100%, without a shadow of a doubt, yes.
The Gary Neville effect. It's like English managers trying to do well abroad. The Gary Neville sort of ruined it put us back a few years. Now, okay, amazing comments from the shed last week. Great stuff, guys. We got some really good closet fans and some really funny comments. But one thing, I was watching Stephen Howson last night, maybe.
Watch video?
Yeah. And he made a really interesting point about Man United and this banter era that Man United are in. The truth about Man United's banter era. Okay, and we'll get to Spurs, of course, because whoa, 1 foot in the final. But Howson said, and I guess this is dangerous, right? And I don't know if one must beware hubris, because you're not even in the final yet officially, but he feels obviously that they are. And he was saying that if you think of this banter era of Man United and the disaster that it's supposedly been, yet they've won the Europa League already, they've won the League Cup, they won the FA Cup in the last 2 years, they're now, very close, one deep lunge into the final of the Europa League, yet they've been torn from pillar to post, and it's been seen as this absolutely embarrassing banter era. But when it comes to trophies and winning, they're actually ahead of most.
Yeah.
It's mad, that, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's optics, Jim. It's all about optics.
Is it?
Well, yeah. No, they're right. He's right. He's 100% right.
What do you mean optics? Do you mean angles, or do you mean optics?
It's just about how the club look. And despite the irony is, despite the fact that he is 100% correct, they also are a shambles. And so
it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't have won the FA Cup. They were cheated. Coventry were cheated out of it. I know it was 100% correct and he was offside.
Right.
But in the spirit of the game, that weren't right. Everyone knows it weren't right. Anyway, and then they Ten Hag, you knew he was doomed, but he won the bloody FA Cup, which is such a hard thing to do.
Yeah. Do you think, though, it's like, say they win the Europa League, are they allowed to? if it's been an absolute slog, like same with Tottenham, right? It's been an outrageous slog for you. You lost 19 games or whatever it is. You know, both you guys, and this was what Housen said as well. He said this is without doubt the worst Man United team of my, of my fandom.
So, yeah.
But despite the 9-month slog and the humiliation, the abuse, the sort of laughing and sneering, that I get, you know, I only have to get every now and again when people remember I support QPR. If you win, are you allowed to moan? That's the question. If you win the Europa League, are you allowed to moan about the season?
Right. I'll answer that by asking you a question.
Okay.
If Arsenal don't win the Champions League and Spurs win the Europa League, have we had a better season than them? Because if you say yes, I won't moan about our season.
I'll answer that question with a question. Is winning the Europa League a trophy? Is that a legitimate trophy? Because last week,
I know what happened. I know what happened last.
I have got a comment. If you don't want me to read it out,
but I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer your. I'm going to ask you a question. Answer your question with a question.
Okay.
Right, and which you'll be able to still read that out.
Sure.
Did you see? Who is it? It might have been Wrexham.
Yep.
Have a trophy.
Yep.
Because they finished second.
Yeah. That's too far. It's the
same, mate. It's the same. It's exactly the same.
I'll answer your question with a question. Is second place first place?
It might as well be if you're just handing trophies out.
Yeah, that's the problem. You know what that reminds me? That's like, you know, when like that's another. I'm sorry, I'm absolutely hammering American culture today. But you know, in America, where like the trophies are just like too big, like massive. Unnecessarily big.
Why is the Stanley Cup so
like
big?
at a low, like at like high school level? It's this like, it's this tiered fucking.
What is it?
It's like calm down. Yeah.
What is that? But you might as well. That's less good than getting a trophy for finishing second. And herein lies the point, Jim, is when you start handing out trophies for a team that finishes top of League One.
No. Right. What? Okay. Let me read. JJS9311. He's got timestamp here. It says 21:48. Flav, that is psychotic. That's how he starts this comment. York have fought blood, sweat and tears, and we have comfortably come second in the Vanarama National League. And as happy as we are, we wanted first. We wanted that first place trophy. Even if it is just non-league football, it shows that of everyone at your level, you are the best. And that's worth celebrating. Enjoy your weekend, moist and dry slugs alike.
He's right. He's 100% right. I'm not saying you shouldn't celebrate. Of course, celebrate. You've done an amazing thing. You've won your competition.
But you're not allowed to lift metal.
I just don't see the value in it.
The Wrexham thing, you can't have a trophy for second. You cannot. You're promoting, buzzing.
But you get a trophy for playoffs. You shouldn't have a trophy for playoffs.
I think you should have it for the playoffs because it's like a mini competition. Yeah, it's like a mini cup, isn't it? That I'm okay with. And especially at Wembley, I'm okay with that. The second, that's mental.
But you're getting one for finishing third. Why not get one for finishing second? You shouldn't have one for second.
You're not finishing third. You're not finishing third. You won the playoffs. Very different.
Yeah.
Am I right with that? Like, can someone write a comment at the bottom of this? In this podcast and go, is James right about the playoff final winner getting a trophy? And if you like it, click like or reply no. And then I'll count it. We'll figure it out.
No, the problem is, James, is that we've become accustomed to thinking that you should have one. And the mistake was even considering it in the first place.
Okay, so
now everyone's thinking it's normal to get one.
But so to go back to the questions that we started at the beginning of all of this.
If there was a relegation playoff, right? So there's this idea that there's this relegation playoff between two divisions. Are you getting a cup for staying up? Because that's what we're talking about here.
And
it's a mini competition.
It's not. No. Do you know why? Because the suction's down, not up. You understand? So with a playoff, you're getting sucked up. Triumph, glory.
Too many
relegation. You're getting sucked down, so you're just happy to live. That's very different.
Yeah.
So
can I just clarify?
Now I'm gonna have to press you on this. Is the Europa League trophy a trophy?
Yes. Of course it is. It's a great one. It's the best designed trophy in football as well. It looks amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's better than the Champions League. Much better.
If you were the Europa League, it's been a while, hasn't it, since you won a trophy? A lot longer than I've had to endure. Would because of the playoff and the title wins, would
oh yeah.
Do you think would you get emotional? Do you get emotional winning the Europa League?
Nah.
No, I do. Yeah.
Nah. Nah. Because I'll tell you, the last time I got emotional was Spurs Real Madrid
Really?
game. That was the last time I cried as a.
Is that a trophy? What's what you're holding there?
No, this is just a momentous day. This is when Tottenham beat an actual decent Real Madrid side, good Real Madrid side.
Right.
You know, one that isn't completely discombobulated, and a manager who's sort of old and past it, and players that only play for themselves.
Well,
we beat Real Madrid. We beat Real Madrid. We're definitely going to win the Champions League. Anyone, I think Birmingham would beat this Real Madrid side. That's how shit they are. Anyway, that's that. I was tearful. Yeah. Europa League, Jim, is.
Hang on, why were you tearful? That's interesting. Why were you?
Because I watched a complete with a team that I identified with players that had come through our youth development. We dismantled a Real Madrid side that included Ronaldo, and it was impeccable. And for some reason, as I was watching my side sweep aside a giant of Europe, the giant of Europe, just when Eriksen scored the third, I think it was, just tears rolled down my face. I just couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I was in Wembley surrounded by 80,000 other Spurs fans. It was magnificent.
So is this?
However,
there's the
I feel
go on.
Any kind of emotion other than like jubilation, but not I wouldn't be emotional about us winning that, because you're supposed to get to the final.
That's it, isn't it? Like football is always about expectations, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's sort of like West Ham with the Conference League, right? Do you like the tears that were like? Are you going to be a twat about that as well and say they can't?
Yeah, no, I am. I am going to be a twat about that.
Right. I might push back here.
Okay, go ahead. But the standard in Europa League is poor. The standard in that competition, and I've been in it, and we got knocked out of it. Right, it is terrible. Right. Like English teams shouldn't be allowed in that.
Okay, so first of all, there's a tangent here I'd like to go on, because did you see Joey Barton this week talking about how Liverpool fans shouldn't be celebrating the title win because they haven't won it?
The other teams are so bad.
No, he went, Liverpool fans, all these Liverpool fans are acting like they've won something. And the other people on this podcast have they've won the Premier League. He went, yeah, but they haven't won it. They can't put it on their CV. I was like,
what?
What?
What was his point?
The reason I brought that up was because you said, I've been in the conference. You just said, I've been in the Conference League.
Oh yeah, I've done it.
Yeah, you've been there.
I lost to Borough.
You've experienced the Conference League.
It's not fair on the other teams that they have to compete against Chelsea, for example.
Yeah. So sorry, but these points link up a little bit, because this sort of celebration police thing I think is problematic to the extreme that if Joey Barton can seriously say,
I don't understand.
Why are these Liverpool fans celebrating? It's not like they've won anything. He's saying they've not. It's not like they've won anything. The point he's
stupidly making is it's not them doing it.
Yeah, he's going. Yeah, why are they celebrating so much? It's not like they've won it. I'm just like, what are we doing here? What how is there this entire... No, I know. But this is like we're at a point now where like you're not allowed to really celebrate you're not allowed to celebrate a major European competition win because it's not seen as big enough.
No, it's seen as big enough. It is seen as big enough, but we should, and don't get me wrong, James, I would be over the moon. I'm desperate to win this competition for many reasons. I'm desperate.
Go on.
Right, but but you asked me if I was going to be emotional. That's a different thing, and it takes a lot.
Yeah.
Generally, like beating Real Madrid, a decent Real Madrid. So, but it's that you should be getting through this. Any English club with the advantages that we've had, you should be getting through to the final. And Chelsea, like, it's embarrassing how easy their running this competition has been.
Yeah. Just to say, like, people in the chat rightly saying, don't give him oxygen. I don't give his points oxygen. I agree. I agree with that. The point is that I think there is this celebration police thing. Like, there's sort of like, instead of just celebrating, there's this sort of like, yeah, but where does it rank in the all-time?
Let me tell you how important. I don't know if you watched the Spurs game yesterday, but the vibe around that place, it was so important, right? That happened last night. The tifo, doing a proper tifo. Have you seen the Arsenal tifo? Oh my god!
Did you see the clip of the guy? I'm sure you did. Some dude like absolutely roasted them for it.
Yeah.
I think they.
So it should. It's terrible.
I think they're capable of a higher level of tifo.
Well, Arsenal fans had they had plans. They had, like, we can do this. Why don't you work with us? And the club went, no, we're doing this. And
oh, right.
the club, that was the club's own one. And it was just like, we're just gonna hang this.
Yeah, let me stop you there. Hey, don't you just enjoy it. Yeah, just enjoy it.
Yeah, don't you? You wait, see what we got. Yeah. And I know someone who was in that stand.
Yeah,
behind the bedsheet, and they were like, "Come on, stand it down."
That is the one thing I think about tifo, which is odd to me. That I'm like, I've just, you spend money to and invest your time and to be able to see the moments, and when it's a big moment, you've got a fucking sheet over your head whilst everyone else is watching it all its glory. Like, it's a weird thing, tifos. It's weird.
Yeah, I'm inhaling flare smoke, then I'm kind of all right with it.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? If I can't see because the smoke is blinding me, then that's something I want to be a part of. But just hanging a little bedsheet, it was just terrible. But yeah, no, to the point last night is that it was important as Spurs fans to have that, because it reminded us of what the club is and what it's like to follow your own football club, rather than sitting in these games where we're getting battered in the Premier League. It was a kind of reminder. It felt to me a little bit like Inter Milan in the Champions League, and which is mental because obviously Inter Milan, European giants, they were the holders of the cup, of the Champions League then, and this was Bodo Glimt. And you can't compare their pedigree in Europe, but
yeah, fair.
It felt like something. It felt like something last night. The semi-finals of Europa League mattered significantly, and the Spurs fans were desperate to win this. Make no mistake about that. We are desperate to win it.
Can you break down that the emotion of wanting to win it, though? How much is based around people not taking the piss out of you?
Mate, they're going to take the piss out of us. They're going to say, well, you think the Europa League is going to stop all of the trophy cabinet drives? Of course it ain't. Of course it's not. I don't care.
Yeah, but you have facts it. Well, this is the argument you shouldn't have been making for the last 3 years, because like, once you do win it, you can then go, well, we have. Shut up.
I don't pay any attention to what people say about Tottenham. I don't care what they say. But yeah, some Spurs fans out there would go, yeah, look what we have. We won a European competition. And look, let me ask you a question here, Jim. It's an important one. Right. When you're thinking about European pedigree, if Arsenal don't win it, and Spurs win another Europa League / UEFA Cup,
yep.
When you're talking about European pedigree, you can't really be talking about the Red Half in North London when you're having that conversation, can you?
Winning the battle between the two of you?
Yeah, because some weird little Cup Winners' Cup back in the day doesn't really count, right? When it comes to...
Well, yeah, I mean, it doesn't exist anymore, does it? It was my favourite cup. It was the first final I watched, was that Cup Winners' Cup final that Arsenal won. Those sweet, sweet Gunners. Alan Smith with the goal. If you've won more, you've won more. It's as simple as that, isn't it?
It's just a question, Jim.
Yep.
Hopefully they didn't get rattled about that question.
Well, I wrote it because I think Chelsea deep down.
We do have one in the chat. We do have one in the chat.
Have we?
Mazza just gives 0 prems.
0 prems. There he is. Fair point. So I did. Obviously it's key for me to push back on Arsenal, but also it's crucial to state the facts. Tottenham, deep lunge into the final of a European competition.
Yeah.
Man United, deep lunge into the final of a European competition. Chelsea, deep lunge into the final of a European competition. English dominance. Are Arsenal letting the country down? Do you feel like Arsenal have let the country down this week?
I think they haven't done their part yet, for sure.
Yeah.
I think right. James, there was this idea that if Chelsea win that cup, the Conference League, Spurs win the Europa League, and Arsenal win the Champions League, that is a clean sweep for London as the hub of European football.
Yeah.
And there's not one fan of another one of those football clubs that want it to happen.
Right, yeah. Someone lose.
Just someone fucking lose.
Yeah. Man United, I said, like, a while back we did this, like, okay, what would be the road to the final for Tottenham and Man United? Is there any way of them getting there? And Jack Collins, who I got on the podcast because he's an expert, let me down because he said that he didn't believe that it would happen. I said, bullishly, it's impossible for Man United to win the Europa League.
Do you still feel that?
Do you know what? The Allcott jinx is unbelievable. I've tried to fight it. It's funny, right? Go on the Sky YouTube channel, and there is a video of me probably less than a month ago making my predictions for who's going to win the different competitions. Shall we go through them?
John.
I did say Liverpool win the league. So we're good.
What a shout.
Yeah. I had Real Madrid.
Oh,
yes. I had Athletic Club, sorry. Who are now in deep trouble, clearly.
What, you can't call them Athletic Bilbao?
They don't like it, yeah. Athletic Club.
Who doesn't like it?
I don't know. It's like you guys. You don't like being called Spurs anymore, do you? I know. You do like being called Spurs, don't you? You don't like being called Tottenham.
What, the owners, but the fans are fine. Well, is there some sort of political reason why they don't like being called Athletic Bilbao?
I think there is. I can't remember, if I'm honest.
Right. Maybe could it be a hot potato that we're not aware of?
But yeah, and one I'm trying to dodge. Yeah.
Let's not though, James. Why don't we live in a world where we do talk about stuff we don't truly understand?
That sounds.
Let's really we could talk about Black Lives Matter. We could talk about. Let's do it right now on the podcast.
Well, do you know what? We do talk about those things, but we do it behind the paywall, which feels safe because there's a sort of unwritten rule between us and our patrons that they're not going to clip it up and cancel us.
Yeah, you can do that now. There's a link in the description if you want to come.
Yeah, if you want to come, money. Come cancel us. I had Brighton to win the FA Cup. They went out that afternoon. Leeds, I had Leeds to win the league, which they could still do. But that afternoon, they did lose their game. I'm all over the place. Conference League, I went for Fiorentina. Come on. Because I just didn't want... Because they could be their third Conference League final and not winning it. That's a blag, isn't it? Anyway, Arsenal... that Arsenal PSG game was a high-level game. Do you know, it's one of those ones... That's a tester for me, right? If someone goes... Oh, he was a bit shit. It's like you don't understand like what high level of football is.
No, it was incredible.
It was incredible. Like
and also, I'm looking at it and I'm going, as much as I hate to say it, like Arsenal are easily, and it seems like an obvious thing, but they're easily good enough to win this competition. Even at this stage, I still don't think that they could get a result.
Yeah, for sure.
But there was nothing between them really. PSG when PSG were in their pomp, they're impossible to deal with. And that is going to be the case regardless who they play. Mm. But then when Arsenal got back into it, it kind of just felt like the level, they're both good at different things, but in terms of the efficacy...
that's great. Yeah, amazing. Well put. Yeah, I think that's spot. I do think, well, there's an efficiency there. I think PSG are better. I think they're a better team. I think they're I think they've got more answers. But defensively, which is just, is 50% of the game as well, like Arsenal are better from that point of view, which makes it kind of balance itself out. And Arsenal do slowly, but they are able to kind of like grind through the game and then they're never dominated really. Apart maybe that first 20 minutes they were a bit too quick.
That is a great way to describe their sort of Champions League campaign, like a defensive grind. I upset a few of them on Twitter the other day.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but I just
What did you say?
like.
Go on. What was the tweet? I think I know this tweet. Go on. What was it? Can you remember?
I can't remember word for word what it was, but I was like saying that.
Did you start it with like, I'm not the kind of guy who likes to really talk about this? It was something like that, wasn't it?
I don't really comment on Arsenal, as you know. I think you said, but there's nothing more sort of infuriating than watching Arteta bounce up and down the touchline all game. But that was until the set piece gremlin reared his little greasy head at the end.
Yeah.
Didn't he get thrown off as well? I said told to go back to his fucking.
I think do you know what I think that I'm always very aware of this. I'm sort of very afraid of this myself. We speak about this a lot on the mailbag of like there's a sort of saturation point sometimes with people or like there's a moment in your, in someone's what's the word? Is their sort of public zeitgeist, is that the right word? Or like their public like moment, right? Where it tips over and like, oh, now you're annoying. And there's sort of that feeling around someone, just it sort of tips into this sort of, something quite, not ugly, but like people are just like happy to hate them. And I think the set piece coach,
he's a knob.
I think everyone's there with that. It's just like, sit the fuck.
They can't hear you.
They can cross in. And you're saying, like, you haven't worked on... I'm just a bit like, are you telling me that these adult men who have to be so intelligent on a football pitch can't remember the set pieces that you've gone through with them clearly because this is a really strong weapon for you against anything?
And if that's correct, James, as you said, then what are you doing? Is this about you? Do you want to be seen as this? Is that what it is? Just a quick one on that, the offside goal. You've seen them line up and they're all offside, and you're thinking, I'm looking at them going, how are they all going to get back onside? Like, like 5 of them might. I don't know how many there was. Like, there's a 6. Someone's going to get blocked. Yeah, someone's going to get blocked. So, and when the ball come in, they all look offside.
I think
when it was off.
Go on, sorry.
Well, just when it was given as offside, you weren't surprised by it.
I think, sorry, I just read set piece gremlin. As I was trying to talk. I think the idea with that is that what you do is your sort of body weight bumps into them all, and so their body weight is going away from the ball as opposed to with the ball, and so you then make yourself onside because you're with them, and 8 times out of 10 you should be onside.
It is really effective, but it's also a bit embarrassing. Like when they line up, when you see them like they've lined up and they're all like 4 yards offside, and you're like, this is all a bit. I don't know what it is.
I know what you mean. It feels a bit like a 90s boy band.
Yeah, it just it's a bit like. That's it. It's all a bit like, oh God, all right, we get it. You're gonna free, but just stop. It's just fucking cringy.
Yeah, I think it's clever though. Is it effective? Why is it cringe? Can someone explain in the comments? Can someone explain why it's cringe? Also, hey Rad, can you explain the Chris Pratt effect? What exactly do you mean by that?
No, I think that's because he was everywhere. I think he was suddenly.
See, that's the worry. Couple of thoughts, Flav. New bit, right? Start your comment with thoughts, Flav, because normally, like, there's certain comments that sometimes I just want to read out to you and get your thoughts.
Okay.
So, thoughts, Flav. Nikki71. So still just finishing off the chat from the last couple of weeks about Arsenal fans in the comments getting annoyed at you and me for not pushing back on your Arsenal slant.
Yeah, but we solved that. We stopped doing it, didn't we? We've stopped having a go at them.
Is that what you do? Sorry, is that what you've been doing?
We've stopped having them. We've stopped.
They
can't keep complaining.
Amazing. As an Arsenal fan that watches the pod, reading comments of other Arsenal fans losing their head that haven't been watching long enough to know Flav is on a wind-up is one of my favourite parts of the pod, which I liked. This next reply, Owen Rodgers, what I'll say here, nice try, but you lost it just at the end. Owen Rodgers goes, this. So by saying this, he's going, I totally agree with this. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Or is he? I love it when Flav winds anybody up, to be honest. I take it with a laugh because I know if you deleted the badges, he'd love our club. He'd love to be our club. So close, you know. So nearly there. So nearly there. If he deleted the badges, he'd love to be our club. Couldn't he was so... And his fingers just started typing. Owen, you've been ad, Owen. You've been ad.
Yeah. Owen, it's also... It's not true. It's like... It's... There's nothing I could think of being worse, actually. So...
Okay. But what? Yeah, but if the badges were on there. What? Yeah, great. Yeah, because where's the European pedigree? Is that what you're saying? What if Arsenal win the Champions League though? Then you have been gazumped, haven't you?
Yeah, of course. There's no argument.
Great pitch on the. Yeah, of course. You really sold that.
Yeah, no, don't be watching. I'm fucking hate watching every minute of PSG. Arsenal. I couldn't tell you the noise I made when Dembele. What a goal, by the way. What the kid. All of them about. I like every. If you don't love PSG this season,
and
that's crazy because you know there are some really kind of dodgy ethical conversations that you can have around the ownership and whatnot. But if you don't love what you're seeing on the pitch, and what a manager Luis Enrique is.
That's the point I was going to make. If that's your and football's a muddy place these days, right? But you can love Luis Enrique and what he is doing here and how he is evolving as a manager as well. And it is that I was obsessed with that goal. I watched that goal 15 times, and then I spent a long time breaking it down on the video. Too long, really, to the point where I probably lost a lot of people. But I was like, this is so interesting, like the movement of all of them, but also the build-up play prior to it, like the movement of Fabian Ruiz, like these new elements that are, like I say, are coming into the game. Like once you kind of see it, it just allows you to feel excited again. And I think it's just more and more people are going to play this way, and it's fun.
Yeah, we need to get back to that. I think a little bit. I really do. So what was it? Who is it? Said. Conor O'Reilly says United funded that midfield by buying Ugarte. Kill me. How have they looked at that and gone? Yeah, I think Ugarte is the one we want here. Like that midfield is brilliant.
Vitinha, man. Vitinha's just like...
It's like Modric. He looks like Modric.
Do you know what I love? Player who's just like, just give it here. Just give it here then. Give it here then.
Doesn't matter what's happening.
If he comes too close, like generally, again, the way the teams play, that's 6. There's 2 ways of doing it. There's standing still and going, give it to me. Or there's going, like, enforcing... like give it to me by almost getting too close. But then to have a team where often you would go, okay, he's a bit too close here, I'm not going to give it to him. But this PSG team, give it to him anyway, which is just it breaks the game a bit, I think.
They can suddenly gain a bit of control and take the momentum away. And it was during the moment in that second half where Arsenal were really pushing, and it kind of felt like they were getting opportunity at some stage. And then suddenly PSG just not that they hadn't been trying, they had. But suddenly their game plan just clicked in again, and they were just suddenly, it was going round, and then triangles, and then they had 2 big chances. And I know Arsenal were committing at that stage, but it was like they just managed in the mayhem of that moment to regain control, and it's such a difficult thing to do. Shift momentum through possession is a really, really challenging thing.
Yeah. Yes. Top comments. We've got some really funny comments this week, so let's do it. Celtic69. I wish Jim... This was a top comment last week. Top comment. Most likes we've got. By the way, if you're watching right now, please do me a favour. Give the podcast a chance. Subscribe to the channel and hit the like button as well. Seriously, that's fucking it. And I wish Jim would stop talking about QPR. Not because it's boring, but because at the start of the season, he deluded me into picking them in the goals galore sweepstake we do at work. Something's happening here, he said. Hi, Jim. I'm saying goodbye to my £20. And there's a couple of comments. A couple of other people put bets on QPR because they're like, that's sort of what
to come up.
I don't know. Yeah, obviously I've got excited about them. And anyway, DJ BJ says, people are too harsh on QPR chat. I love to hear it when I'm trying to fall asleep or looking for an excuse to leave a party. Thank you. Wim Hendricks. This is interesting. I'm an Everton fan, but I'd listen to a weekly pod where Jim talks about QPR. Do you know why? I think there's a there, and this would be a good maybe bit for the comments, is the sort of kinship clubs. I think in terms of what you have to go through with certain clubs, like we are I don't know if someone can find it, but like, we have been we finished 9th a couple of seasons ago. We've been between 9th and 15th, but generally we've been 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, 18th for the last close to a decade, right? So that is why, Wim, Everton fans who are in that similar purgatory, we have a kinship. We are kinship clubs.
So understand each other.
Yeah,
you understand
we
each
are
other.
kinship.
What I thought was really interesting, just in terms of like, I think there's a kinship of clubs that have not belonged to the Big Six as well. And Big Six is just a horrible term. I'm really glad that this seems to be dissipating now. But so after the game against Villa and Palace, obviously we know what happened. And we're in central London to watch the Ben and Eubank play. And there was just a constant meshing of Villa and Palace fans.
Right.
And it was all really good-natured because of that relative understanding of each other. And they were all just going, fair play. Villa didn't turn up and Palace were great. And it was all really kind of nice until one Palace went, "We fucking smashed you lot." I was like, whoa, where's this energy come from?
Kidding out himself.
He just couldn't. He's like, "No, fuck you. Like, I don't want it. Don't tell me about you not turning up. We smashed you."
That's it. You got to be careful. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Because that's it. It's funny. There's like, so I have an aspirational kinship with Palace because I'm like, I'd love us. There's a very difficult, but God, maybe there isn't, but like an aspiration that QPR could fucking in time make enough smart choices to be there, and then you never know. But I wonder if, when I've spoken to Palace fans about that, are they in the space now where they're going, piss off? Don't think you can.
Yeah, that does happen. Yeah. And the thing is, you're looking at Villa's season, right, and you're thinking, yeah, they've been all right domestically. They've done all right. They may finish in the Champions League played, but when it was really put on them, they let their fans down, didn't they?
Do you know what I was going to say? I actually legitimately, when I think we need a new phrase. I think it's because I think top 8 now. I think top 8 in my head.
That's fair.
And when I think top 8, I think Newcastle and Villa in that. That's my top 8.
Yeah, definitely.
You're 16. Where are you? You're 16th. Like, you're
17th for me.
Are you?
No, 16th.
Oh, 16th. You could and Carragher said this. He was like, if you finish 17th this year, you've essentially finished bottom of the Premier League, because those 3 that are beneath you are so far off you. You've really finished bottom of the Premier League.
Yeah, it's terrible, isn't it?
If you still win a bloody trophy, that's just crazy, isn't it?
Have you heard this? Have you heard people going? It's outrageous that Man United and Tottenham will be in the will be in the Champions League.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that way.
It is mad.
Why? Sorry, we all agreed to the parameters of the competition before we started.
Yeah,
I don't think it's wrong.
Everybody understood. It's bizarre.
No, that's fine. We can have a conversation about being bizarre, for sure. People are like, this isn't right. This is not right.
Right. Well, that's ridiculous. They're different competition. It's like saying...
Look, Catherine, it's awful. It's awful. What? We all agreed to this. Everyone knew what the result was. You can't just say it's awful because now here we are. Yeah. You can have a conversation about the standards of the competition and why the advantage is so heavily weighted to English clubs. I get that, but that's the same for everybody.
Blake Davies, question for the next pod. If you put the ability of a world-class player into a 25-year-old casual five-a-side player, do they make it professional? And if so, how long does it take them? So I just thought this is interesting. Say you were you're just casual, 30% body fat, casual five-a-side, 25-year-old player. And then you wake up, it's like, what's it called? Big with Tom Hanks. And all of a sudden, you're just a world-class footballer. How long does it take you to get fit enough and then noticed to become a professional, to get yourself into the Premier League as a 25-year-old?
Probably would never do it.
Do you think it wouldn't happen? Or do you think you would be seen enough? Because you'd go...
I think Sunday
side. Yeah, because you go, I'm going to play Sunday League football.
No, you'd get picked up. reputationally, you'd get picked. Someone would look at you.
I think it would take. It would take. I think it would take about 3-4 years. Like imagine Messi, like like Ian Wright was like Sunday League player, and then he kind of got picked up, right?
Yeah, Jamie Vardy was playing down the leagues, wasn't he?
Yeah. So if you're like Messi levels and you're just like scoring 10, someone at some point is going to spot you and go, "Come play for our Saturday team," and then all of a sudden you're playing like.
Just how quick can that happen?
How quick can that happen?
I think. I think you're right. I think it would happen. Actually, I said no, it wouldn't happen. I think you'd get to the Premier League quite quickly.
I think
because if you're Messi and you're playing in League Two, you're scoring 3 goals a game.
But the problem is, right? I think say you go play for a Saturday team because someone saw you at a Sunday team and said, "Mate, you've got to come play here." You play, you're great. You then get semi-pro, right? Semi-pro, you then crush that. You've got to be doing about 6 months to get a body of work there to get picked up by a team that's like National League South, like Dorking Wanderers or something like that. And then from there, again, it's going to take you a year to have these outrageous numbers for someone to get you in. And probably in terms of taking a punt on that, at best, it's League One. You've then got to go another year to prove that you're just way too good for League One. And you've got to wait for transfer windows for you to get... No one will go from League One to the Premier League and play. So you then got to have another year in the Championship before you get in the Premier League. So how many years is that? Whatever that is. Yeah, I think 30 at least. But good question. Can I have more questions like that, please? Very good. Daniel Cooper, favourite genre of footballer are a unique skill set compared to the position / body type. For example, Crouch being great with his feet, Edison being elite passer, bracket shit keeper though he says, Cannavaro and Puyol being great centre-backs despite being 5'9". I love Decore for being a massive, strong, attacking midfielder, even though he's firmly Everton level. And even outside of football, this applies. We had a lad at school who was about as fat as he was tall. But my lord, he was fast. It took 2-3 business days to get up to speed, but Connor ran like a bullet train. Find that funny? I did.
Okay. Well, the mental image of a you.
Just sort of named it. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to.
43 said, I think the idea. So, okay. Do you remember us talking about cheer halls last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't unsee cheer halls now, can you? They're everywhere.
No, there's a lot of that. The PSG.
Arsenal. Do you know what the problem is, right? So, like,
I think we need to talk about Arsenal again.
See, Bruno G is a cheer hall. Okay, they've got probably like 2 cheer halls. The problem with Arsenal here is like, a cheer hall is a cheer hall. Okay.
Yeah.
But when you've got too many cheer halls, you're sort of like, it's just a too high a concentration of cheer halls. You got Odegaard doing it, Martinelli. So someone wanted to say, some people wanted to talk about Gabriel being a cheer hall, and I think he probably is, right? But Martinelli was on one, like it was insane.
Who was this one who shot? Was it Trossard who shot across Donnarumma? Good save, should have gone in.
Great save.
And he's turned around, not gone like that. He's just gone. He's missed, and he's gone.
Yeah, it's
love you. Yeah. Fucking score! Don't fucking wave your arms at me.
Yeah, be disappointed. Yeah, it's funny.
But do you know where that's coming from, though, James? You know where that's coming from.
Who was the first? That's what I'd love to know. Who was the first cheer hall?
Well, Arteta is like the king of the cheer halls, right? Because he's right. You need having the momentum of the crowd with you is massive to the players because they're all brilliant players. Give them every advantage, and that's a big one of it. But it's got to be kind of natural as well. You can't force it too much. And do you know what they did, Arsenal? They turned all of the TV offs in the concourse so you couldn't stand and drink and watch the game. You had to be in the stand.
That's good.
So yeah, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. I mean, it's less good when you don't win. Obviously, it doesn't have any impact. But it was good. Yeah, they're doing the right.
Trying to do the right thing. Yeah,
they're trying to do the right thing. But then there's this video down the lens, and he's going, "We need you to bring your shin pads We need you. If you've not seen this, you've been busy this week. You probably haven't. I've watched it about 16 times. Right. It's Arteta's talking. He's like G-ing the crowd up, but they did a special video message.
Right.
We need you tonight. We need you. I need you and the person next to you. I did hear that. Like,
did anyone bring that? Do you think anyone brought their shin pads?
I hope so. I really hope so.
This is a good point. So, can anyone find footage of the first ever cheer hall? Diggity Dog says Stephen Taylor used to love it. I think, I do sort of vaguely remember that. Sam Field doesn't mind it, but he doesn't. You're right though, because it's like a turbo boost, isn't it? It's like a new manager bounce, right? You can do it once. You can't keep doing it, otherwise you sort of like you've used your boost. I think that's the thing that's going to hurt him. People there's too much of it.
Mazza just said I was sat on my sofa in shin pads and a full kick because of Arteta.
Good lad. Come on, lads. Right, 40 says, I think the idea of cheer halls is an interesting one. Do you think players celebrating tackles is becoming more prevalent because it's more organic than celebrating a goal, which might be checked by VAR for the next 5 minutes? Interesting. Yeah, it's concrete, isn't it? You have saved the goal.
Yeah, and also it's true. And I also like that. I know if there's a time to cheer a crunching tackle that is fair. Yeah. It should be that.
A big save. Do you know what I like as well? What's interesting, right? It's not, with those ones, when it's a defensive one, it's a chest bump. Have you noticed this? It's not like that. It's like bah! Yeah, anyone else saw one? Bah! Which
Keown loved that bit of that, didn't he?
A little chest bump, did he?
Very he's a lot very Rory, and he's screaming at Ralph Van Nistelrooy in his face. He was kind of one of them.
Yeah, I met Martin Keown this week. He spoke about that. He said about.
Why is he talking about that?
I think he was touching on the fact that Arsenal fans. He said sometimes sometimes talks about like Man United fans. Man United fans don't like him because of that.
Fair. Yeah. It's fair though.
But you know what? I like that. Get in the mush. I'm okay with it.
No, I'm not okay with that. It was disgusting.
Hang on. Right. But say Romero did that to Odegaard. Or Saka.
I think, no, there's a line here, Romero, and you've just crossed it. We know we hate Arsenal, but you've got to respect them at least.
Ridiculous. That is just... Get this man a flip-flop. Sean Levitt. Oh, this was just... I just thought it was interesting. He said, you know what I hate more than anything? When people refer to the Premier League as the EPL.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like some sort of Vauxhall Conference shite. That made me laugh.
There is nothing better than fans from the Premier League looking down at other fans from smaller clubs. I do enjoy that. You know, just looking. And I was just thinking about you earlier, Jim, right? When...
I've lost my manager this week, so just...
Is he gone?
Go easy. He's on gardening leave, so essentially he's gone, yeah.
Oh. He's had enough, hasn't he? Just had enough.
I don't know. I'm annoyed about it.
I will be sensitive to you, Jim, but I still have to ask this question. Like, you was talking about, like, if enough goes your way, you know, we could essentially experience some of the things that Palace fans have been experiencing.
Yeah.
And, like, you're genuinely one manager away from really being hopeful about that, right? Things happen in football, but my question to you is, do you really want it? Do you really want it?
I don't know what you mean.
Just 15th every season. I know it's not what you want, but maybe it is what you want.
But you know, that's why it connected. I thought the Palace semi-final was really interesting because everything else you want from Crystal Palace, from a club, a club of that size that, like you say, is not one of the greedy six that tried to make their own league, is there at Crystal Palace. You have players with personality. You have players with character. You have players that have come through, that know the area, that care about the area. You have an identity from that point of view. The one thing that was missing was any actual drama and clear achievement. And so that's because you're just the 12th. And that feels like that's not progression. But actually, kind of staying in the arena is progression. Obviously, as long as something comes of it. And so that semi-final and that performance, I think for so many Crystal Palace fans, a bit to the point we were talking about with the Europa League or sort of winning a trophy, is like the slog of life of anything, like you forget about it after the fact when you have the moment, like at something that you can really hang on to and go back to and think about and feel. And that semi-final for Crystal Palace where they beat a bloody good Villa team. Sorry, Catherine, by the way. A bloody good Villa team and properly beat them, and it all came together when you're gentle underdog there. Like that's real stuff at Wembley, and now you're off to the final and you feel like you've got a real chance. Like,
when Glasner said after getting beaten by, you're right, and a lot of it stems from Glasner, but also their journey as well. But he got beaten by, they got beaten recently 5-2 by Man City. She really didn't tell you the sort of tail of the tape. But he made a comment afterwards saying like almost like this won't happen again with.
He said play like that, yeah. Set up like that against us again, and we'll have you. That's so, mate. That sentence is everyone is. So that makes that cup final better. That sentence makes that like that bullish, like to have that about you. Go, we're not afraid of you. Like that's what I mean. See, this is what I mean. That's why it gets me excited because okay, you're never going to compete with them, but if you can get to a place where you can compete with them, like that's a different kind of buzz. And to your point, to the thing of expectation, where it's like, well, we should be winning this. Like it's so much more fun when you're like the Real Madrid one that you said there. It's because you can't compete with Real Madrid, but you've competed and beaten Real Madrid. That's the point. That's real stuff. Magic, yeah. Anyway, closet fans. I want more of these. What are you closet fans of? Okay, I've got two here. I've got one. It's springboarded one for me. Ben Naylor. I'm a closet fan of curling.
I like curling.
Yeah. I couldn't care less for the best part of 4 years, but as soon as the Winter Olympics comes around, I'm glued to the curling, throwing those silly little rocks down that silly little ice rink with that silly little brushes. It's untouchable.
That's brilliant.
I'm half mast just thinking about it now. God, I can't wait for the curling.
I get it. I do watch it.
Yeah.
I do watch it. I get so good. I know everybody does, but the Olympics, the shit you get into, I would watch and get invested in almost anything.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Badminton.
Swimming's good. Jack Lynch. I'm a closet fan of eating baked beans out of the tin cold.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, I've been there. I have been there. Not in recent years, but university days, it was just about, I need some carbs in me. I need any
really?
Cold can of beans, but I don't know if I would do it. It'd be one of them things that might do on my own and no one would ever know about it. I'm not walking around the house with a can of baked beans. My son does it sometimes, and I'll give it.
That goes through me, but what it did remind me of one thing I am a closet fan of. Now, I don't think I've ever spoken about this, but as a youngster, I had a real thing, I kind of still do, about if the food is supposed to be hot, it has to be really hot. And and I used to really struggle. I can't believe I'm about to say this. I used to really struggle with sandwiches because you take them in your packed lunch and then by midday they were like lukewarm. And and I couldn't handle it.
I kind of know what you're saying, like wrapped in cellophane.
Yeah,
I know.
I just had this cringe, sweaty.
When did?
And it's not
what
like
age you're over it though.
Yeah, I got
really over
honestly,
it.
I was probably about 17, 18, but I got over it. But like, so I haven't told you. I don't. So instead, to try and get around this, I would have. I had crackers and cheese.
Because they're hard and they don't absorb.
They get sweaty. I had crackers and then I got to work like they're so fucking dry that I couldn't eat them either. Anyway,
you sent me a. Sorry, have you finished that?
Well, so the thing was that I am a closet fan, though. I sort of got past that, right? And then, I realised once, I had a moment, I was like, I think I had like an apple crumble or something, and I opened a tin of custard. And I sort of thought, do you know what, I'm going to lick the lid of that custard. Be careful, obviously, because it's sharp.
Yeah.
Always be careful. But I had the custard, cold custard. I was like, that is sensational. Cold custard is amazing. So I'm a closet fan of cold custard.
No, I know that's fine though. Cold custard, obviously, it is good. It is good.
Isn't it?
I'm a closet fan of raw onion.
I like raw onion. I quite like.
I much prefer raw, like in a salad, a raw onion, or even listen to this, a burger
with raw onion. Yeah, I'm okay with
raw
that.
onion in a burger.
Yeah. Do you want white onion or red onion? You go. You're white. Do you because you love shit like this? It's like the wasabi thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You like the power of the onion.
Yeah, I like a little dig in the face when I'm eating. Raw white onion. Look, in a salad, I'd go red onion, but in something like a burger or a sandwich, I would go white onion, raw white onion.
Jasper White says, my friend is a fan of raw mushrooms. I like raw mushrooms. I really like raw mushrooms. I think they're nice. I love them.
No, I don't like mushrooms at all. Like a mushroom can get to
really, yeah,
to sponginess. To sponginess, Jim.
Yeah. See, actually, I'll just like eat them like apples. Or like,
mate, did you get one of those pizzas the other day? You know, we recommended
yeah, they're in the freezer. That was in the mailbag, isn't it? In the freezer. They're in the freezer. I haven't eaten it yet.
I think it's called, the brand of pizza is called Crosta and Molica.
Oh my God.
Best, in terms of chilled pizza, you just cannot go wrong with these things. Are amazing.
But we will talk about that second podcast. Remind me, all you beloved moist sluggies, I went to Costco and it's incredible.
How did you experience? Really?
Let me show you something. I won't talk about it. It was saved in the mailbag. Do you know what someone said to me? I went to Costco, and the next day I was speaking to someone. I went to Costco, and they go, he went, "Did you buy something that you shouldn't have bought?" And I went, "Yeah, I bought a massive beef jerky pack."
Sweet and hot.
Yeah, just like me.
Very good.
Anyway.
So what are you saying? I need to take some time to go to Costco?
Mate, and there's one right by me, so come by me, we'll go together. It's amazing.
All right. Can we maybe, could this be a bit?
What, things you can get at Costco? I think we're talking about, I'll divulge all, because the things you can do at Costco will blow your mind.
Really? All right, I'm looking forward to mailbag.
Okay. Last bit, shattered illusions. Get your shattered illusions in the comments. Luke BMG says, just on the top of things that shatter an illusion you had in your head, I'm a Derby fan and went to Millwall away for the first time in 2014 when I was 16. I had it in my head that they were a horrible, nasty, mental bunch of bastards. They had a clear group of lads in a corner near the away end. But when they went 1-0 up, two of them high-fived. At that point, I knew I was in no real danger. What a shame.
What your experience?
Yeah. Well, everyone knows that one.
I'm probably like a fuck your throat.
Good Christmas, everyone. Everyone have a good time. Yeah, well, good pass. Good. I'll keep my head down. And then I'll talk about, and then I've grabbed him by the fucking throat. Good old Millwall fan. Right. All EFL fans enjoy the last game of the season. Managerless QPR will. We will try to enjoy it. I'm sure we'll probably pump 4-0.
What's your who's coming in next? Ainsworth? Give Ainsworth?
No.
Mate, I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. I'm like, I don't know what happens next. I don't know.
Pissed off. Because I thought, right, he's going because he's obviously going to West Brom. And that happens. I understand the food chain, and so you just need to keep making good decisions with recruitment, and which is probably more important than the manager, and with the manager, of course, as well. But then he's not going to West Brom. So why is he on gardening leave? Because we're not going to get any money for him now. It's so immature. Anyway.
You're right, Jim.
Tony Mowbray. Straight swap, innit? Yeah, why not? Anyway, have a great weekend. Sorry to end on that. Become a patron.
See you later, everyone.
Join us. See you later. Bye.
Bye.